recorded live in the studios of Brewer Street Mafia. This is a Red Dog Fred production.
And now, your number one rated show, The Mike Weatherford Show. Here's your host, Mike Weatherford.
Hey, folks, welcome back to the Mike Weatherford Show. I'm your host, Mike Weatherford. Hey, creation versus evolution. It's not a battle of science versus the Bible or science versus faith. It's a battle between two starting points. Which starting point do you believe? Tonight I got my co-host here, Mr. Jonathan Lodge. He's going to have me navigate through this great show. Can you believe it?
I'm excited. This is going to be a great show. I've followed Dr. Ken Hovind for years and years, and I got to say I'm a little biased because he says a lot of things that a lot of people don't want to hear.
Yeah.
And man, he's the man for the job.
He sure is, man.
Yep.
All right, you ready to get with it?
I'm excited.
All right, folks, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Dr. Kent Hovind. He is a creationist. He's a preacher. He is a guy that I think you're going to be very interested in tonight. I want you, my viewer, to pay attention, and you're going to learn something. So I want to welcome in Dr. Kent Hovind. Welcome to the show, Doc. How are you doing, sir?
Well, thank you, sir. I'm getting old slowly. It ain't for sissies, but no, God is good. Some of God's kids drive me nuts, but God is good. I love it.
Hey, I feel your pain. Well, welcome to the show, man. I'm really honored to have you join us. Like I said, I've watched you and kept up with you for years, and I kind of said, you know what, I'm going to reach out and see if I can get him to come on my show because I want to share your beliefs and your thoughts and your knowledge with my viewers here in Paris, Tennessee. So we are nationwide, but I want my locals to share it with you. So thank you again for coming on the show, and I want to introduce you to Jonathan Lodge. He's a great friend of mine. Jonathan.
Hey, Doc, you probably don't remember this, but I called your place probably about 15 years ago, and I did not expect you to pick up the phone, and you did. And we chatted for maybe 15 minutes, and I got to say, as a 19-year-old, you radicalized me because you told me something that I'll never forget. You said that, to blindly believe in anything is faith, and this is what scientists are doing with science. And now, or actually it's been 20 years, and now 20 years later, we're in the midst of scientism and the worship and belief that science will answer all of our questions. And I love that you have stuck with, what you've done with carbon-15 and some of these other things are, nothing short of impressive. Very, very impressive how you've kind of opened that can of worms for a lot of us to say, hang on now, we don't have to blindly accept something just because a guy in a white, science coat or whatever says it, So thank you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad I radicalized you years ago.
Yes, sir.
I believe the Bible is absolutely true, and the evolution theory is not it's a religion. It's not part of science. It's the dumbest and most dangerous religion in the world.
I agree.
Wow. Yeah, you're exactly right. I've kept up with you and watched some of your debates years ago that you had, and you mopped the floor with them because it's hard to beat the facts of the Bible. I can't, and you bring it out in a way that makes you think. I watched one other day where I don't know how old he was, and you was talking about that the mankind started from a dot smaller than a period in a sentence. And I thought, wow, that part right there should make you think that God is great. God, we are made in the image of God. Start us out. Tell us where you started, where you got this thinking, and just tell me a little bit about who Dr. Kent Hovind is.
Well, thank you for having me on your show, brother. I love doing this. My name's Kent Hovind. I've been a Baptist preacher 51 years. I taught high school science and math for 15 years. Editor. I said, these dinosaur bones they're finding are from one that drowned in the flood in the days of Noah. The earth is about 6,000 years old. God made it in 6 days, like he said, and dinosaurs always lived with Adam and Eve and all the people, and people have killed most of them, calling them dragons or some other name. There might be a few still around, like Loch Ness Monster or that kind of stuff. Right. Well, they published my letter in the Pensacola News Journal and started a war in Pensacola. The atheists were writing in. I wrote in back and forth for a couple of months. We wrote letters to the editor. Finally, some students called me and said, hey, would you come to the University of West Florida and debate our anthropology professor? they're reading all your letters in our anthropology class and making fun of you. I said, fellas, I've never had a debate in my life except with my wife, and I lose those every time. But you know what I mean, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
I said, well, sure. So I did my first ever debate in 1989. I've now had 389 debates. I can't wait for my next one. The most famous one is where I debated 3 professors at once at Embry-Riddle University. And one of them asked me, where did God come from? My 2-minute answers got 950 million views.
Wow.
You type in, where did God come from? I believe the Bible is true, and evolution is stupid. It's not part of science. It's not science versus faith. Evolution is a religion. I admit mine's a religion. I believe God did it. They will not admit theirs is a religion because then they lose their tax funding.
Yeah.
So they have to claim and pretend it's part of science. If anybody's got some scientific evidence for evolution, I'd like to see it. Nobody's ever seen a dog produce a non-dog or a cow produce a non-cow. It's never been seen. But they have these stupid family trees, these charts they put up. All the kids are learning this in all the public schools now. Yes, boys and girls, we started like an amoeba, and we slowly evolved all the animals, and you are related to a duck and a octopus. This is stupid. This isn't science. This is a propaganda poster. That's all it is. I taught earth science for 15 years, too. They teach the kids that the layers of the earth are different ages. You see these charts all over the place where they talk about the Cenozoic, Mesozoic, Paleozoic, the Jurassic Age. This is stupid. This doesn't exist anywhere except the textbook. I debate them all the time. I say, guys, you're telling me the top layer is younger than this layer? Oh, yeah. I say, would you please tell me where it came from? Did this dirt come from outer space? How can that dirt be a different age than that dirt? Every speck of dirt on the planet is the same age. Whether 6,000 or 6 trillion, it's all the same age.
I can see.
I don't know how they don't get it. They don't get it.
Didn't this start with Darwin? Didn't he? Ain't he the grandfather of all this thinking? Darwin did? Or am I wrong?
Well, he's pretty close to the beginning. Other people came before him. It started with them teaching this crazy geologic column. Steno and Cuvier and Lyell, they made up this column of all the layers and gave them names. That's where it really started. And everybody fell for it. They said, oh, wow. They said, oh, it sounds right. The top layer is younger. No, the layers form horizontally. Watch our website, drdino.com.
Right.
DRDINO. There's a video up there called Experiments in Stratification. When water's moving sideways, it makes 6 or 8 or 10 layers at the same time. The layers form this way, not this way. You can take these sand art toys, flip them over. It'll make 10 or 15 layers for you in a few minutes while you watch.
Yeah,
the layers are not different ages. So that geologic column is the Bible for the atheist. It does not exist anywhere. All over the world, petrified trees are found standing up, petrified, running through all the layers. Guys, dead trees don't stand up for millions of years, maybe a year or two.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just want to straighten out the record. The Bible is true. I tell people, if you'll watch my video series, it's 18 hours long. You can get the whole seminar series, Creation Seminar Series, 18 hours. It's $50. Mm-hmm. Brothers, when I got started 35 years ago now, I used to loan my videos out. I learned right away Christians don't steal, but they borrow and never return. Give me $50, you take it home, watch it, copy it, bring it back, get your money back. Can't beat a deal like that. But I won't loan it to you. Okay?
Okay.
Unless you think you can lose your salvation, then I might, So, yeah, I want to win people to the Lord so bad, brother. I want to change the world, and I want to get everybody to believe. I tell people, if you watch my videos, when you're done, you're going to say, wow, the Bible's true.
Yeah,
and then about a week later, you're going to sit up in bed in the middle of the night and say, oh, no, the Bible's true. This changes everything. You might want to, get your life in order. Check,
So all that started, your life started doing what you're doing over a article in a newspaper about finding dinosaur bones. Wow. Right. Was you a Christian then, wasn't you?
Oh, yeah. I got saved when I was 16, but I was very confused as a young Christian because I was studying math and science and raised in a family of engineers and teachers. And I wanted to work for NASA is what I wanted to do originally, but then I gave my heart to the Lord, started reading my Bible. 130 when his son was born, and he lived 800 years after that. The people before the flood came, right here's the flood on the chart. These people lived to be 900. Read Genesis 5. They're living to be 900. Okay?
Right. Methuselah.
Reptiles never stop growing. Never. So before the flood came, if they could live to be 900, they'd get 60 feet long. Dinosaurs lived with Adam and Eve. So I'm reading my Bible, making charts, trying to figure out how old is the world. And the dates all add up to about 4,000 BC or 6,000 years ago. Then I'm studying my science book, and they're telling me the Earth is billions of years old. I said, somebody is wrong. I don't know who it is yet, but I'm going to find out, okay?
Right.
And I just want the truth. And the truth is the Earth is about 6,000 years old. There's no possible way it can be older than that. Is that the name of your program tonight, The Age of the Earth?
Well, it's the Mike Weatherford Show, but we call it tonight. It's just whatever. That's a great one to come up with. Hey, why didn't we think of that one? The Age of the Earth, Jonathan.
Yeah, that's right.
That is a great one.
So, Dr. Kent, what happens to mainstream scientists whenever they have conclusions and actual real hard data that is opposite of evolution? What happens to those scientists if they come forward at their universities and they say, hey, I have an out-of-place artifact, or I have counter knowledge to the theory of evolution? Because I don't think a lot of people understand just how big this scheme is.
Right. They will be silenced. See, there's a much bigger picture. On my video number 5 of my 7-part series, I talk about the dangers of evolution. This is not just a dumb theory. It's dangerous. Satan has a plan. He wants to rule the world. He knows God owns the world. He wants to take over. He said, I will be like the Most High, Ezekiel 28 and Isaiah 14. So Lucifer puts it into the hearts and minds of some men down here that they should rule the world. And we've had plenty of would-be dictators, who want to rule the world, pinky in the brain kind of. And so Satan wants to destroy humanity. God told the devil in the Garden of Eden after he made Eve sin or tricked her, he said, someday some seed of the woman is going to bruise your head. And ever since then, he's made it his goal to destroy all the humans so he can save his own head. When Herod wanted to kill baby Jesus in Bethlehem, what did he do? Kill all the babies. Let's get them all. Make sure we get the right one. So Satan wants to reduce the population of humanity to zero. Any wars or bad medicine or abortion, any way to get rid of people. So if you look at it from the bigger picture, it's really Satan versus God. And Satan has made up quite a few lies over history to try to get people to believe dumb things. And if he can get you to believe you're just an accident, a cosmic accident, or if he can get you to believe like Adolf Hitler, we're the superior race, it's our duty to wipe out the others. See, this is Veterans Day. My dad was World War II sergeant in the Marines, only survivor of his platoon. We did a show earlier. It's on all my channels. They're all listed on drdino.com about Happy Veterans Day. Thank you, Dad, for what you did. But the reason the Japanese did what they did, and my dad had to go fight them, was because they were taught evolution.
Yep.
Darwin's books were translated to Japanese, and they fell for it. Wow, we're the superior race. And so they they killed 17 million Chinese just because they were Chinese. Yep. They weren't the right race.
Right.
Adolf Hitler killed the Jews because they thought they were inferior species. Evolution's a dangerous religion.
Yeah,
not just dumb.
It has led to more deaths, millions, tens of millions of deaths. Yeah. This idea that this secular pluralism or humanism, whatever you want to call it, where this idea that we are different and we've evolved differently, and therefore we can actually look and say, well, this race is better than that race, and the proof, so to speak, is in the pudding. And that's where this religion of evolution actually leads to, is tens of millions of deaths. Or hundreds of millions. Yeah.
But Jonathan, what do you think about the Big Bang Theory?
Well,
we all of a sudden, evidently, the universe was already here. And something happened, had a big bang, and now here me and you are, millions of years later.
I think it's interesting that
that's crazy.
I think it's interesting that the scientists forever, and again, Christianity is not opposed to science. The Christians, we were the first, real true scientists. Captured time frame, and that really they had to kind of adjust. And so they've since been adjusting. I think in my life, the world has aged 4 billion years, according to scientists. At one point it was however many billions of years old. And now, now today it's that many more.
Well, they'll tell you this science is fluid.
That's right.
And I say you got to stop it if I want me to believe it.
That's right. You got to catch it.
You got to catch it so I can believe it. Go ahead, Doc. That's just how we see it. We kind of agree with you here. I guess you can see that already. But
yeah, you're not going to get much pushback on this side of the internet.
No.
You got fans over here.
Yeah. It's just that they say science moves, and I say they say it's fluid. Kent, and I say, sure, it's fluid, but you got to stop it if you want me to believe it. Well, when you prove them wrong on the COVID or anything, when you prove them wrong, they shift over here. So it's a moving target. But you in the creationists and the Bible has been steady since the beginning. Correct?
Amen. Yep. I think the Bible is true. And the more I study it, the more I study science, and I love science, okay?
Yeah.
God made everything in 6 days. It says in 2 Peter chapter 3, at the end of time, the scoffers would be willingly ignorant of the creation and the flood and the coming judgment of God. See, the original creation, if you really study what the Bible says about that, it explains thousands of things. Read the first few chapters. God said there's going to be water above the firmament. Read Genesis 1, okay? Well, it tells us the firmament is where the birds fly. So that would be the air, the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. There was water above the atmosphere. The Jews have always taught, and I believe very strongly they're right, there was a crystal canopy, maybe 10 miles up, a couple inches thick, over the whole world that made the earth like a big greenhouse that compressed all the air down into maybe 10 miles instead of 50 miles like it is today. If you ever climb a tall mountain, you can hardly breathe up there. Mm-hmm. When I climb Mount Rainier, it's only, 2 miles high or 3 miles high. I could hardly breathe. At Mount Everest, 5 miles high, you can't hardly breathe. If you could squeeze all the air down into 10 miles, cover the earth with a crystal canopy, this would do multiple things. It would explain how dinosaurs that are 80 feet long have nostrils the same size as a horse. Wow. They couldn't breathe today. That's correct. They have small lungs, small nostrils, and 80-foot bodies. They had to have compressed air and greater oxygen. When they find air bubbles in amber, which is petrified tree sap, the air bubbles have 35% oxygen. We're breathing 21%. I think before the flood came, the world had greater air pressure and greater oxygen concentration. Well, if the air was thicker, for lack of a better word, more compressed, bigger creatures could fly. How do they explain 50-foot pterodactyls? Wingspan. They couldn't fly today. That's correct. Yeah. But they did. We find the bones. The bones we're finding are probably all from Noah's flood. But before the flood came, that compressed air made everybody live longer, made everything bigger. They find fossil ducks. 500-pound duck fossils have been found. Fossil clams, 11 feet. Wow. I cover this in my seminar. Things were a lot different before that flood, not only living longer, but growing much bigger. And that crystal canopy overhead, fossils by today's standard, you're going to get a wildly wrong number. They were living at a time when there was almost no carbon-14. So we're going to date them at many, many thousands of years old when they're only 4,000.
So I cover
all that, video 7.
When you've studied carbon-14, and I don't think maybe the people that aren't familiar with your work, what have you found some of the gaping holes in that science or quote unquote science? And even the people that are carbon-14 scientists are going to admit that this isn't a very it's not a strong science per se. It's more of a guessing game, and I don't think a lot of people understand or realize that it's a scientist guessing.
That's right.
They're making an educated guess on the data that they have available. But what have you found in your work?
Well, if you walked into a room and found a candle burning on the table, there's a candle, it's burning, and I said, "Hey, when was it lit? How long has it been burning?" He'd say, "I don't know." Well, let's do some scientific experiments and see if we can find out. We can measure how tall the candle is. Okay, we measure it and find out it's 7 inches tall. Does that tell me how long it's been burning? No. Got to see how fast it burns. So we time it with a stopwatch and find out it's burning 1 inch every hour. Here's the facts. Nobody argues. It's 7 inches tall. It's burning 1 inch an hour. When was it lit?
That's the question.
You can't tell me unless you first make an assumption. How tall was it? Right. Which we don't know. And has it always burned at the same rate? Right. Which we don't know. When you dig up a fossil and you carbon date it, they can tell very accurately how much carbon-14 is in that fossil. And the carbon-14 is decaying. It's like the candle is burning. This carbon-14 is breaking down back to nitrogen. Okay? So they can measure it the question is not how accurate can they measure it. Do they have the right starting point? How much was in it when it died? You don't know. Has it always decayed at the same rate? They know the sun goes through a solar sunspot cycle about every 11 years. It gets, zits all over its face, spots on the sun. That affects the carbon-14 decay rate down here. So how do you know? You cannot possibly know with any of the dating methods, carbon-14, carbon-13, potassium, argon, rubidium, strontium, lead-208, lead-206. They all have automatic built-in assumptions. In a court of law, an honest court of law, a freshman lawyer could destroy any of those dating methods. We don't know. They sometimes test a sample and find two different numbers from the same animal that they find. I cover all that in video 7 with lots of documentation. So it's sad that they trust that rather than just trust the Bible. God told us he made everything in 6 days. He wrote that on a rock with his finger, 10 Commandments, Exodus 20, and everything. God made everything in 6 days. It couldn't be clear. Jesus said the creation of Adam was the beginning. Was he lying? He said that was the beginning. The Bible says nothing died until Adam sinned. Romans 5:8 and Romans 1 Corinthians 15. Man brought death into the world. Evolution says death brought man into the world. Exact opposite. Evolution is dumb and dangerous. I'll debate anybody you've got. Anybody you can find believes that stuff, call 855 Big Dino.
That hit deep.
That hit deep right there, Doc. That hit real deep, right? I never thought of it that way.
I never have. Evolution brought man into the world by death. And that's a wild way to.
Wow.
So what happens whenever these people, the carbon-14 scientists, when they date out of place artifacts? Like what, if they're confronted with evidence, literal evidence that, hey, this is, things are fossilizing at this insane rate.
What about the pickle in the jar? What about the...
I got it in my museum right here about 100 yards
Really?
away. Come on down. You got to come see our museum.
I've got to. You got the pickle in the jar. Tell that story.
Yeah.
Tell about that and a hammer found in a rock. Talk about that.
We got that too. We've got replicas of that. We have all kinds of stuff. We have a petrified teddy bear. Yeah, petrified rose. So it takes about 1 year for something to petrify, like a clam. Here, we got hundreds and hundreds of petrified clam. The tides, I know, but along the beach they worry about the tide. Okay, if the Earth is turning under the moon, so it's holding up bump called the high tide. Well, people on Earth, we're turning around, so we get high tide, low tide, high tide, low tide, which means the water's always being pulled into the high tide and then pushed out of the high tide every 6 hours, 12 and a half minutes. Well, that water going in and out of that big tidal bump is going sideways. That's what's making all the layers. And that's what make all the trees get buried standing up running through these layers because they're only 6 hours and 12 minutes apart, not millions of years.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, fossils like the plants can petrify in 1 year under normal conditions. In the laboratory under pressure, they can do it in 1 day. Turn it to stone.
Tell the story. Jonathan doesn't know. Have you ever heard about the pickle?
No, not until just now. Not until you just mentioned it.
Yeah, he's got a pickle. I seen him on one of his shows. Can you tell that story?
Billy,
would you mind telling that story?
Go get it.
Oh, he gonna go get it. Go get it. I like that. Tell that story. He wants the pickle.
Yeah. Well, a kid called me from Montana. He said, Brother Hovind, we found an old house out in the woods. I need the petrified pickle. She's bringing a whole bunch of stuff. Look at this. This secretary's on the ball.
I need the petrified pickle. I've never heard those words uttered, I don't think.
Here's the petrified teddy bear.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
There's a place in the Czech Republic where there's a little waterfall. And you can put anything around it and let the water splash on it. It's high mineral content. And in 2 weeks, it'll turn to stone.
Wow.
2 weeks. They found an iron pot inside a lump of coal. Coal miners in Virginia broke open the coal. There's an iron pot inside. Here they are telling the kids coal formed in the Carboniferous era, 300 million years ago. Baloney. All the layers formed in Noah's flood. The Bible says Tubal-Cain was before the flood, one of Noah's or Adam's grandkids, was an artificer in brass and iron. After the first few generations, they're already making things out of iron in Genesis before the flood. A kid called me from Montana.
So that iron was found in coal. Wow.
Yeah.
There's my pickle.
He said, Brother Hovind, there's an old house out in the woods, and the walls are falling apart, and the roof is caving in, and part of the pantry was still standing. There was a jar in there. The lid had rusted off, and the pickle in there turned to stone. Would you like it for your museum? I said, who on earth would not want a petrified pickle?
Wow. Look at that, Jonathan.
So what do people say when they're confronted with these out of place artifacts? When you show someone an iron,
what does the scientists say? The one that argues against you, what do they tell you about the pickle, the iron in the coal, and the petrified teddy bear? What is their argument?
And there's hundreds of these, by the way.
You don't have all. There's around the world.
Right.
What is their argument?
Against
Doctor?
an out-of-place artifact.
What is their argument? What do they tell you? I want to hear this.
They will say, that's an anomaly. We're working on that. And they move on to something else. New topic. There's a museum in New York. You got to call it John Adolphi at the Lost World Museum. He's got a whole bunch of this stuff in his museum. It's where he collects stuff. Giant human footprints, giant human skeletons. Everything was bigger before the flood. Ron Wyatt was a friend of mine up in Nashville, Tennessee. He died, but his wife, Nell, he lives in south of Nashville. What's the name of the town? Do you remember?
Franklin?
Spring Hill, Tennessee.
Spring Hill, gotcha.
Spring Hill. Yeah.
We're not too
She's got
far,
the museum
man.
in her basement. She has they found Noah's grave. It was been robbed, okay, and Noah's wife's grave, and part of her skeleton was still in there. She had the little finger bones were this long altogether. She had to be 15 feet tall. Noah's wife. Everybody was bigger before the flood.
Right.
It just was a different world. And so evolution says, we started off little like a chimpanzee.
Right.
We're getting bigger, better, stronger, smarter. Someday we're going to sail around the universe and discover new life forms, like Star Trek. They want you to think man is improving. No, we were made in God's image, and we've been downhill since then.
I agree with downhill. And the downhill ride ain't slowing down, Doctor. But, Jonathan, can you imagine what these people say that argues with him, and he brings out a petrified pickle, brings out a chunk of coal, and a rock with a hammer in it? And I want to hear their explanation. I mean, you're sitting there.
It doesn't sound like they have one.
No, they don't have one.
Yeah.
They're sitting there arguing that the earth is millions of years old, and they're showing you rocks and formations, and here comes Dr. Kent Hovind. He walks in there with a petrified pickle, a petrified teddy bear. How do you argue that?
Again, I think it's just like, well, we have to let the data, the relevant data will come forth. But
you just ignore it. The question I asked him was a lot longer than the answer they give him.
Right.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy, man. I mean,
there's no honesty. There's no scientific honesty when it comes to this, because again, it is the worship of science. That doesn't mean that science is wrong or bad or not. I mean, science points to God. Science points to God, right? And I think Dr. Hovind,
evolution has never been proven to be 100%
correct.
Accurate. It's not. It's not 100%. And a lot of times evolutionists will use Christianity as a tool for evolution. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah.
They'll use evolution as a tool. You understand what I'm saying, Doctor? They'll use it. Those scientists will use Christianity as a tool to believe in evolution. Yeah. It's crazy how they do that. Go ahead, Doc.
You got to understand, they very badly don't want to believe this book. This book says God created the world. Well, that means he owns it.
Yeah.
And he can make the rules, like the 10 Commandments.
Right.
They don't like his rules. So they'd rather deny he exists.
Yeah.
I say, guys, if you don't like God's rules, go build your own universe and run it how you want.
Yeah. Some of your people that believed in God, some of your smart people, Isaac Newton, Galileo, Gregson Mendel, and Francis Collins, they all believed in God. Did you know that?
Yeah, they were leading scientists, were always Christian.
And they believed in God.
Yep.
And you got Dr. Hovind here just tearing them a new hind end hole with pickles and teddy bears and hammers and coal. That just blows my mind. I'm sorry. We're talking amongst ourselves. We're not leaving you out. Just join in with us. I mean, you got us thinking. And I think my viewers have to be thinking because you're backing it up with evidence. Is he not?
Yeah. So, that's the most interesting thing about your work is that, you do present these things pretty concisely, whereas the opposite, to be adversarial against this, is they don't really not against this, but it's actually in support of this. And so, and I know not against this, but it's actually in support of this. And so, and I know a lot of evolutionary biologists, they think the antediluvian argument is a crutch, right? And I know you get a lot of pushback on this, Doc, because, oh, well, creationists, they like to blame everything on the flood. But really, the flood did transform both humanity and the world. And now we know that there have been major floods. I mean, I'm sure you've seen Netflix and all of these shows that they're putting on. And what do you think, Doc? And, I wanted to ask you this. What do you think about the blending of these two things? Because I don't like it whatsoever, where evolutionists and creationists kind of blend it, and they have this thing called intelligent design, and it's almost like they're trying to pacify the creationist and they're trying to pacify the evolutionist, and they've really made almost a kind of a flimsy argument. These old world creationists tend to be the ones that support that theory.
Well, I debated Hugh Ross. He's one of the leaders of that movement, saying, the earth is billions of years old, and God needed billions of years to get it just right. Not my God. He did it right in 4 seconds, let there be. Poof, there it was, So, I have no sympathy for them at all, okay? God, it certainly, if the earth is billions of years old, and they want to make the Bible try to say that, they're calling Jesus a liar. He said the creation of Adam was the beginning.
Right.
The Bible says nothing died till Adam sinned. In the 10 Commandments, Exodus 20 and again in Exodus 31, God said he made everything in 6 days. Some people say, well, maybe those days are long periods of time. Well, that's crazy. On day 3, he made the plants. On day 4, he made the sun. How long can them plants live without the sun? Wow. It had to be the next day. The sun comes up. And he made the bugs to pollinate the plants on day 5 and 6. So, no, I don't have any sympathy for him at all.
And they use a verse in 2 Peter to kind of back that up, right? A day to God is 1,000 years to man, right? As kind of the verse that they tagline that, intelligent design.
Yeah. I do think God is working on a 7,000-year calendar for all of human history. The creation was about 4,000 BC. Jesus came 2,000 years ago. We're now almost 2,000 years into what's called the age of the Gentiles. I think it's about done, ready to go into the time of tribulation and then the time of God's wrath. Then there's a 1,000-year period called the millennium. Word milli means 1,000, okay? Millimeter, millipede. Yeah. There's a 1,000-year period yet to come. And I cover all that. I did a whole series on what on earth is about to happen, about the future. The Woe series, we call it. It's here someplace in front of me. Here. Woe. Yeah.
His table looks like my table, Doc. I feel you, brother.
Yeah, there we go. The Woe series is 21 hours long about what the Bible teaches about the future, what's going to happen next. It ain't looking pretty for the short term. No. So, Joseph, put my slides up, would you? It says the scoffers are ignorant of the flood. There are petrified trees that are found standing up. You folks in Tennessee have a lot of these. Just walk through the mountains some places. You'll see petrified trees standing up, running through all the layers. Well, now hold it. Here we are teaching the kids the layers are different ages. How long's a dead tree? This one's in Tennessee, where you guys live. I don't know where. I think Cornersville, if I'm not mistaken.
Where?
That's David Reeves by it there. You can call it Rives. Yeah. Call David Reeves. He's got a museum there, a Creation Museum in Tennessee. Petrified trees that are standing up, running through the layers. The layers all formed in 1 year. You destroy that geologic column and the whole evolution theory falls apart. Yeah. There's no such thing as a Cenozoic or Mesozoic or Paleozoic.
That was covered by the flood. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, that makes sense, really.
Every tide going up and down means it's going in and out sideways.
Right.
That's what made all the layers. Here in Lenox, Alabama, we're 31 degrees above the equator. You can do all the math on that. Right here, right now, where I'm sitting, we're turning 886 miles an hour. So during Noah's flood, when there's no interruptions by banging into continents, whole world's covered in water, the tide would become harmonic, and the moon sucking the water in at this latitude, 886 miles an hour for about an hour to fill the tidal bump. It'd be a 200-foot tidal change if there weren't interruptions like banging into continents. Right. So that 200-foot tidal change, every 6 hours, 12 and a half minutes. The water's rushing in, rushing out, rushing in. Noah's just floating up and down in the ark. To go up 200 feet in 6 hours is, you wouldn't even feel it.
No.
In 1 minute, you go up 6 inches. He wouldn't feel, but it's the water going sideways underneath that's going to make all the layers and bury trillions of trees. That's what made all the coal in the world from Noah's flood. And trees standing up, running through all the layers, they're common. Atheists, they just ignore it. How did this happen, guys? Why are you telling me the layers are different ages? They can't be different by more than a couple hours.
Wow.
The whole thing had to be deposited in 1 year. Joggins, Nova Scotia, they have hundreds of these petrified trees. I'll show you some pictures here. There we go, Central Alabama. There's a coal mine. A friend of mine's a manager up there. They find petrified trees running through one seam of coal, through the rock, through the next seam of coal. Same tree connecting them.
Wow.
Here they are telling us these coal seams are different ages by millions of years. I'm sorry. The scientific evidence says no. See, they don't want the Bible to be true because that chaps their hide.
Yep.
I say, guys, you better get some Vaseline then because you're going to need it. The Bible is... Here's one from Kettle Mine in Cookeville, Tennessee. How far are you from Cookeville?
Oh,
about 4.5 hours.
Yeah. No, 2.5.
Yeah.
You've been to Paris, Tennessee one time, Doc, because somebody told me that you come to Paris and did a seminar and they come and watched you. Do you remember where Paris is?
I remember where Paris is, and I remember, if I recall, you guys got some sinners in that town.
Well, every town does.
Well, go fix it, okay?
I've got you on here tonight trying to start, Doctor, okay?
Okay. I'll do what I can.
Right.
There's a website, Bible.ca for Canada. Right. Bible.ca-track. Don Patton has lots of these pictures of the petrified tree. Joggins, Nova Scotia.
Back up a second if you could. Could you back up to that one in Cookeville, Tennessee? I hate that. Right there. Now look, that's 2 hours from us, 2.5 hours at the most, 2 hours from us. So we've got them here too then. We just don't have a lot of coal around.
Like Smithsonian has all kinds of giant skeletons in their basement.
Right.
They don't want people to see them. 10,
I've heard
15-foot skeletons.
I've heard that. They find them. Sometimes you'll see a TV show where they'll try to talk about those big giant people they found buried. Jonathan, you've seen that too.
Yep.
You know, and that's just before the flood. After the flood, things change. That's very interesting. He's making me think, Jonathan. Did you?
Oh, of course.
The viewers,
He's been making me think for 15, 20 years.
Yeah, I know. But still, man, it's great. Go ahead, Doctor. We hate to interrupt you, but wow.
Okay, hey, in my slides, you can get all my slides on a thumb drive for $50. Okay?
Right.
And $100 for the 50,000 slides. Okay.
Right.
I sometimes have notes at the bottom. I just saw this note at the bottom of the Cookeville, Tennessee.
Right.
Don Nelson of Cookeville has pictures from Sparta, Tennessee, 30 miles south of Cookeville. The mines there were used for local coal. They widened the highway, Highway 285, and destroyed several huge polystrata trees that were standing up. This would have been 20 years ago when I put that in there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's not like they find them every day, but the thousands have been found.
So they're there.
Trees that are standing.
Their evidence is there, Jonathan. They're just hiding it.
Yep.
Wow. Nova Scotia's Canada. Look at all that stuff.
What has been, if you don't mind me asking, Doctor, what has been the most surprising out-of-place artifact that you have found? I mean, obviously these petrified trees are a head-scratcher for anyone that's being honest with themselves and being open-minded. Yeah. But like, what is something that maybe a lot of people that's out of the Wikipedia page, so to speak, that's not you know, it's kind of, what's something that you have found that it's just been mind-blowing as far as these are concerned?
Well, Dr. Carl Baugh and Glenn Rose still alive. Either.
That's right.
But a missionary friend of mine was in Africa for years, Congo, Africa. And he said his daughter was coloring a picture in her picture book. He learned their language, and he's trying to win these pygmies where he's working in their village to the Lord. And his daughter's coloring a picture of a dinosaur. And a couple of natives saw the picture and said, "Oh, that's Mokele Mbembe. Don't get close.
Mbembe, yes, sir. Yep.
He'll kill you with his tail."
Wow.
Well, don't you know they've been dead for millions of years? Oh, no, we didn't know about that. All we know is we see them once in a while. So,
And didn't a
it's so crazy.
Japanese surveyor or something? Yeah, a fishing boat. Yeah, got a picture of. It's kind of a blurry picture, but this is also like the Loch Ness or any of these, and it really does. It kind of give an explanation for dragons, because we're told that these civilizations that are, supposedly thousands of years apart had no communication with one another. Yet they have the same
That's right.
the same imagery of these things. Whereas, dinosaurs, I don't know if the viewers know this, but just dinosaurs, the term was invented, 160 years ago? Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that long ago.
1841.
Right. So that's
the same animal. They're just called dragons, and most cultures called them dragons or something like that.
Right.
Dinosaurs.
That's why they
people say dinosaurs aren't. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go ahead, Doc. What I'm going to say is crazy, but that's why they call it fossil fuels.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, fossil, to make it sound rare. And they say the oil's being made every day in the earth. It ain't something that took millions of years to make. I don't know. You can probably get further than that, but that's why they call it fossil fuels. It's supposed to be made from fossils and stuff. Correct me where I'm wrong, Doc.
No, it is. I think Noah's flood.
Right.
The world was. See, the Bible says God created the world to be inhabited. Isaiah 45. Well, today only 3% of the world is habitable. 70% is underwater.
Right.
10% is under desert. 10% is under ice. A lot of it's mountain ranges where you can't possibly live. So 3% of the world is habitable. What we're seeing today is a junkyard compared to what Adam and Eve saw. Yeah. It was all beautiful, all habitable from pole to pole. And so the coal that we're finding in the ground is probably all from Noah's flood, because the world was loaded with trees.
Yeah.
One atheist I debated at Berkeley University, a woman professor, she said, Hovind, there's so much coal in the ground. If you took every tree and every blade of grass in the world and squeezed it to make coal, you could not make all the coal that's in the ground. I said, you're right. She said, don't you see? That proves it took billions of years. I said, no, don't you see? That proves the earth had more trees on it when the flood came.
He's kind of like me with some of my thinking, is he not?
I like it, yeah.
John, I never seen you so quiet.
No,
man.
I'm listening. We've got Dr. Ken Hovind on here. I'm letting him talk. Yeah,
man, this is one for the archives right here, brother. Yeah. But I've got people asking questions. Somebody named Tom asked, "Who designed everything on Earth? Animals, plants, water, air, and etc." I can answer that, and God done it. Right? Is there another answer?
Everything is so amazingly complex.
Right.
It has to have a designer.
Yeah.
If you took the DNA out, the average person has about 100 trillion cells in their body. Each of those little cells contains 46 chromosomes, except for the gametes, they got 23. If you took a chromosome, all the chromosomes, 46 of them out of one cell, and unwound it, I'll take any questions you got.
Right.
Well, God told Noah to build the ark, and he told his boys to go for wood. No, it's different. We don't know what kind of wood it was, okay? Mm-hmm. They don't know that it's only found in Florida. Plus, what we're seeing is after the flood, the results, 70% of the world's still underwater. So we don't know where Noah built the boat at. We know where it landed in what today is called Turkey, right. And they've discovered Noah's Ark. We're building a miniature version of it here. Well, 175 feet long, not too miniature. 1/3 scale model. Come on down. You guys got to come see our Noah's Ark.
We're going to come down there.
Have you seen it in Turkey? Yeah. Have you been able to go there yourself? I know that
I've not gone to Turkey. No.
Right. I know it's restricted. I knew Ron Wyatt. Correct. I mean, since after Ron Wyatt went and made this discovery, he's the one that discovered the Ark. Correct in Turkey.
Yeah.
Buried under
Mount
the ground.
Ararat or whatever. How you say that?
Ararat.
Mount Ararat.
Yeah.
Ararat. Yeah.
So, but you haven't been able to actually go over there and because I know the Turkish government has restricted people from excavating. They haven't touched the site at all. They say it's a natural formation, even though he found timber and, he found a lot of evidence that said to the contrary, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
You know the story better than I do.
Right there. In Spring Hill, Tennessee, just south of Nashville, Marion L. Wyatt, Ron's wife, she got remarried. Last name is Lee now. She has some of the timber there. She's got all kinds of artifacts that Ron found. She's got them there.
Wow.
That's crazy. Let me ask you a question, Jonathan. Doc, I want you to answer it too. is intelligence genetic or is it learned?
Is intelligence genetic or is it learned? Oh, I mean, I think there's probably a little bit of both.
What do you think, Doctor?
Yeah. I had some students that didn't have any of it, so I couldn't tell.
That's a good question because we're talking about, science, evolution. I'm just asking, is intelligence genetic? So I'm just as dumb as a banana because they'll say that we share some of our DNA with lettuce. We share it with the bananas. I'm sure you've heard what I'm talking about. So did I get my intelligence from a banana?
Well,
is that a fair question?
Yeah. When I was debating those three atheists at Embry-Riddle University, he asked me, where did God come from? My 2-minute answer includes at the end, I said, sir, if you think your brain is nothing but a random collection of chemicals that made itself by chance, how can you trust your own thoughts and your reasoning processes? Maybe you got some chemicals in there backwards. Yeah. He did, by the way.
I believe people don't believe in God. When death looks them in the face, I bet you a lot of them really do believe in God here at the end. Now, how could you not, Dr. Ken Hovind, how could you not go through life saying there is no God, evolution, and got a scientific answer for everything around you? You can't lay God, no, this is scientific. What if that one little old doubt you're wrong? Do you think right before death, a lot of these atheists and a lot of these people that preach all this evolution change their mind, or you think they just go on and believe that? Or you think they really, truly believe that?
Well, there's some of each. If you just type in last words of atheists on their deathbed, there's a whole page of hundreds and hundreds of these guys. What's the last thing they said as they died?
Yeah, I didn't know
some
that.
Some of them said, oh, I see now. I've been wrong. It's really scary to read some of the things they say.
It's very scary.
At the end of their life.
Think about that, Jonathan. You go through life believing that there is no God and preaching it and get out here and coming up with scientific proof on everything that doctor's been showing you, petrified pickles. And you're saying it took millions of years to do this. And Dr. Kent Bovine gets one and said, look, here's one less than 100 years old. Pick on it. It's a rock and it's a pickle. How do they die? I mean, that's crazy. I mean, I know it's probably something you don't even talk about, but I do. How can people go through life not believing in God? It's just mind blowing. We all sin. I'm not saying I don't sin. Sure, I'm sure everybody sin, but I do. But I believe in Jesus Christ as my Savior. How do you do that? I mean, what? Somebody explain, Jonathan or Doctor. One of y'all tell me how you can possibly do this.
Well, read Romans chapter 1. It says they did not want to retain God in their knowledge, so God gave them up. Right. God gave up on them. He lets them believe stupid things. He gave up. Oh, you don't want to believe? Okay, go ahead and believe you came from a rock. Yeah. And that's what they do. See, according to the evolution theory, the Big Bang, if things exploded and the dust got together and made planets out there and the sun was a hot ball of rock and the earth was a hot ball of rock and it cooled down and it ran down the rocks for millions of years and turned them into soup. And the soup came alive and slowly evolved into us today. So I ask atheists, I say, do you believe you came from a rock? Well, no. Yes, you do. Not directly, but you do believe you came from a rock. How on earth can you drive on the highway that is made out of your ancestors? Show some respect.
I watched you one day tell him about Satan. There must be a bunch of Satan that you can pick up, and he says there must be sitting around and just coming up with ways. Hey, I'm going to make people think they come from rocks.
Yeah.
And then he says, hey, I'm going to beat that. I'm going to make everybody believe that T-Rex turned into a chicken. You remember what you said there?
It's so stupid. So stupid.
Yeah. I wonder, look at a precious baby when it's born. My children, I got 3 children and 10 grandchildren. I look at them. They got fingers and toes. How can you not believe in? How can you not see God's work right there?
Yeah, I mean,
and let alone the petrified pickles and all that. Just how can you not see God's work when you walk outside? I love to hunt. I'm out outside. Jonathan, you're an outdoorist.
Yeah.
You do it all that.
Yep.
And we're outside. We see God's work. I'm sorry, Doc. I didn't mean to take away from you, but how can people not see it, let alone not feel it and touch it? How can you not see it? Help me.
You'd have to have help. You got to have help to be that stupid. You can't do it on your own.
I think
you'd have to go to college. You'd have to go to college for years to be that stupid. Here's the petrified rose.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
You put it by this waterfall, let it splash on it for about a week, and it turns to stone.
What do you call them things that drip in a cave? It drip down stalagmites and stalactites or something?
Stalactite, all that's. You can put anything around there. People put a coil of rope, a hat, anything. It'll turn to stone in about 2 weeks.
Wow.
Turn it to stone. Lost World Museum, I was telling you about in New York, has a whole bunch of that kind of stuff.
Wow. That's great, man.
So what do you do when, they've tried biogenesis, right? They've tried to show biogenesis. It has failed miserably. These aren't exact science whatsoever. I think maybe that's the mask that is being pulled off in tonight's discussion is, a lot of people were indoctrinated. Like you said, it's being taught in our public schools. We're indoctrinated at a very, very, very early age that this is science, which is it's the opposite of what science is, which is to observe.
Let me butt in a minute.
Sorry,
I'm old enough to remember above the blackboard when I was in school, they had this picture. And it showed monkeys, and it just gradually showed a stand-up human. You're old enough to remember that too. Do you remember? Was that in yours as a kid, Jonathan? Did you see it above your blackboard?
Yeah, for sure.
Did you remember teaching that when we was in school? And I questioned my parents about that. So I thought God made us. And how do you fight that?
Well, Tennessee and Arkansas both passed laws years ago that required teachers to teach creation, and the court struck that down. Said no. They didn't say you couldn't teach creation. It's always been okay to teach creation in public schools. Never been against the law. The court said you cannot make it mandatory. That's all.
Right.
So if you just tell teacher can say, kids, we're going to pray. If you don't want to pray, go out in the hallway.
Right.
And it can't be meant. You can teach creation. It just can't be mandatory. You can't tell the teacher you have to teach creation. There's never video number 4, lies in the textbooks. I cover that as part of the series about what your teachers can do. To remedy this problem. There's never been a law that says you cannot teach creation. All they've said is you can't make it mandatory.
Right.
If you passed a law in Tennessee that said teachers are required to breathe, the court could strike that down. They probably will breathe if you leave them alone, but you can't require it.
You can't make them breathe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Man, I've enjoyed this conversation, Jonathan. I mean, we're getting close to an hour.
Amazing. Yeah.
It is amazing. I've never seen you so quiet, Jonathan.
No, I'm just you took it. I'm listening to him, man. This is awesome.
It is. I mean, I called Jonathan. I told him that he's a co-host of mine every once in a while. I said, I've got a guy on here. I don't know how you feel about him. It's coming on Tuesday night, Dr. Ken Hovind, and he just like to lost his mind, Doc. You've got him coming on your show? Yeah, I said, yeah. He said, wow, that's my hero. I've been watching him for 20 years, and I drug him along for a little while, and I finally said, do you want to join me? And I thought he was going to kiss me. Right or wrong?
Well, brother, I got one more slide I want to show you. I think
sure, you got plenty of time. Go right ahead. We're just talking. Go on.
There's a hillside in France where the petrified trees are upside down, running through all the layers.
Upside down?
They're running, the root end is up at the top. Did the tree grow the wrong way for millions of years looking for sunlight?
I'm lost
No.
unless the flood blew it.
The flood had to do all that.
Yeah.
Mount St. Helens blew 20,000 trees down into Spirit Lake. Thousands of them are still floating there today. What's it been, 40 years ago?
Right.
When Mount St. Helens exploded?
Yeah.
The trees, the log map drifts back and forth. They get waterlogged. Some come root end down and stick in the mud, and the mud forms layers around them. There's been a lot of research. I cover that on video number 6 of my series about what did that flood do? Where did the water go?
Right.
One atheist I was debating said, Hovind, if there was a flood, where'd all that water go? I said, it's still here. It's in the oceans. Man, they're huge. I flew back over to Pacific from Australia. I told one of the guys in my office, I said, man, that Pacific Ocean is huge. He said, oh, that was just the top of it.
Yeah.
There's enough water in the oceans right now to cover the whole world 1.5 miles deep. 8,800 feet of water everywhere.
Wow.
That's plenty. That's enough to drown in.
Yeah. I can't drink that much water. No. They talk about the Earth's plate's supposed to line up. Well, they act like that. All these like that congressman who was saying about Guam, too much weight going to turn it upside down. I don't know if y'all remember seeing that congressman. Do you remember that?
Hilarious. Oh yeah.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about. Thank you. And they act like that the earth, the land is not tied to the ground. It's just like it's floating around. All them places used to line up.
Continental drift.
Yeah, and I always said, hold on a minute. Now, you take the water out and look what it looks like. Drain the oceans. You get where I'm going with that. You know, that one congressman did say that, I don't know if he was on drugs, when he said if you put too much military stuff on Guam, it could turn over. Did he not say that, Doc?
Oh, yeah, I heard it. Yep.
Okay.
They ask me all the time. They say, do you think South America and Africa were ever connected? I say, they're connected right now.
That's right.
Underwater.
Yeah. That was my point.
There's a bottom to the ocean, you know.
Yeah.
If you had a long pair of stilts, you could walk from South America to Guam or to Africa.
Yeah.
They shrank Africa 40% to make them fit. I cover all about the Pangea. It's pure baloney, that Pangea stuff. The continents are moving a little bit. I agree.
Right.
The Earth is all cracked up, probably from the Noah's flood when the fountains of the deep broke open.
Right.
There are cracks and fault lines all over the world, like an eggshell. And some are locked in, some are still moving. We have volcanoes and earthquakes. Most of them are pretty stationary. But no, this Pangea theory is stupid.
We've never observed it.
What?
Well, what they're trying to do is get kids to believe the Earth is billions of years old. So they won't believe the Bible. That's the goal.
I think that's exactly where I was going to go. I think the goal is to get, like he said, the devil, Satan, to try to get us, not to believe in God. And that's how deep they'll go. That's how deep the devil will go to teach our children this stuff. Doctor, I appreciate it. Will you do it again sometime? Come on here and let's just have a conversation.
Anytime.
Man,
Better yet, why don't you guys come here and visit our Dinosaur Adventureland?
You got it.
Take the tour in the Jeep. We have Jeeps. We have 17 lakes for fishing. We have 6 zip lines. We have a Noah's Ark. We have a 12,000 square foot science center. We're looking at a big turtle. The only problem, guys, we need to warn you. We have well water.
That's what
A lot of people don't know this, but I taught biology for 15 years. If you drink well water, your babies will be born naked. So be prepared.
That's why all my kids is born naked. I didn't know.
Nobody warned you. Sorry.
Yeah, nobody told me till earlier. Where's this at now? Give everybody your address and all where you're at.
We are straight north of Pensacola, Florida, about 70 miles, in Lenox, Alabama, right off I-65, about halfway between Montgomery and Mobile. Just type in Dinosaur Adventureland.
You're not that far from us.
No, about 4 hours.
Right, that would be a good. What is y'all's hours? What are you open year round or?
I live here. About 15 people live here. We're open all. We're technically closed Sunday, Monday, but people come anyway. We have 30 cabins. It's all free. You can stay in our cabins.
Wow.
We cook, we feed you. We feed about 3,000 meals a month. We don't charge anything. Just a donation if you want to help.
Wow.
We have Jeeps. We give tours. Brother, you won't believe the Jeep we got. Somebody bought us a 2019 Jeep Wrangler.
Right.
It had been totaled in Miami. So because it got a salvage title, you can get it pretty cheap.
Right.
That thing will go, that Jeep will go 60 to 0 in 1 second when you hit a tree.
When you hit a tree.
Yeah, 60 to 0. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Jonathan, there's your lookalike.
There it is.
That's Jonathan right there.
That's one of my kin members right there.
It is. I think you and that llama share about 99% of the DNA.
Yeah, I evolved from that llama. So that's what I was told.
Yeah, you evolved from a llama.
Yeah, that's what I was told.
He might not ever do a show with us again.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know. I'm sorry,
No,
Doc.
I'd be glad to.
No, we just kind of throw in a little laughter every once in a while. But really, I really appreciate you taking your time and sharing with us and sharing with my viewers your beliefs. Because I have nobody. Is anybody in the back can tell me tell me in my ear if anybody's contradicted? I've got nothing. I've never had a show where nobody's arguing with my guests.
That's right.
Have you ever seen one of my shows?
No.
I've got nothing, Doc. So you're doing something right.
Okay.
I mean, most time they want to argue with my guest about something. I had people come over at Bigfoot. I've had them on here. One guy, Jonathan, argued with one guy. He said that we didn't go to the moon. Is that the one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then one guy said the Earth was flat. I've had all kind of stuff on here, and most time my viewers want to argue, but for some reason.
Never proven biogenesis. They've tried to prove it. They've tried to do it. this is the only encapsulating worldview. I think that's what people don't understand is we compartmentalize. A lot of people, Christians are lukewarm, where they want to believe in this other religion, but then on one day out of the week they want to believe in their religion, and it doesn't work that way. I mean, you have to have a total view, a total worldview. And thank you for the work that you've done over the last 40 years or 50 years, however long you've been at this, because I know they have come after you, and they've come after you hard. And
brother, you mentioned about abiogenesis. That's getting life from non-living material.
Right, correct.
Right.
Scientists have been trying for 150 years to create life in the laboratory.
Right.
I had one atheist I was debating. He said, Hovind, they're trying to make life in the laboratory. I said, oh yeah, they're trying hard. He said, what are you going to say if a bunch of scientists produce life in the laboratory? What are you going to say then? I said, I'm going to say that just proves it takes intelligence to make life, doesn't it?
They'll never do it. They'll never be able to do it. Yeah.
Well, Doctor, I hate to keep you. I appreciate you. Don't know how much, and I hope you've enjoyed it too. Maybe a little bit. We've been kind to you, and you've been kind to us, and we appreciate it. And Jonathan, let's take a trip down there. It's not that far.
Let's go. That sounds awesome. I'll bring my kiddos. That sounds fun.
Oh God, yeah, that'd be great to come down there because we like to travel, man, and Dana and all of we like to get out and travel. If you see my big butt walking around, you'll remember me, I'm sure. I'll tell you who I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me warn you about. There's one more thing to warn you about. Not only the water, make your babies be born naked.
Right.
Our cook is really, really good. Our meals are all free. Cabins are free, but she continually serves iced tea. I have warned her and told her, iced tea is dangerous. People don't know this. There was an Indian one time that drank 4 gallons of iced tea. That night, he drowned in his teepee.
Is it sweet tea? That was probably unsweet tea that drowned him. Sweet tea won't drown you in the teepee.
Okay. Come on down, visit, guys.
Hey, I appreciate you, and thank your crew in the back. Mr. Shackelford, I believe, is who we talked with. Thank him for all he's done. You've got a great crew. I can see how this show's working. You've got a great crew, and I've got one behind me. I guess you can see that takes care of me because, I'm not God nor Jesus. So I had to have a bunch of smart people around me. But I appreciate you and your whole crew for what you did, and maybe we can do this again in the future and continue this conversation. What do you think?
Anytime. Be glad to. Come on down.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
Jonathan, there it is. Could you believe that?
That was awesome. Yeah, that was awesome. That was amazing.
It was. Anything that you wanted to ask him, we didn't get to. He told it all, man. I mean, it's a lot deeper. We didn't have time to go real deep.
Yeah.
We just touched the surface.
I mean, he's got 21 hours, that's really cool that he offers these things.
Yeah.
Again, anyone listening that is disagreeable with this, well, I think it's probably a natural reflux.
It is natural.
Yeah.
It is natural. I mean, like it or not like what he said, it's your prerogative. But listen,
be open-minded.
Be open-minded because the Bible is God's word.
Right. Be open-minded, have an open heart, and don't realize that you're believing in a religion if you're giving into the unscientific process that is needed to prove evolution.
I felt a little intimidated.
Oh, no.
Did you?
He's sharp.
I mean, not in a bad way.
He's a
but
sharp guy. Yeah.
Did you feel a little intimidated talking to him?
He's a sharp.
I did, 'cause he was so sharp. I mean, it was great. I enjoyed it.
Again, I think that the body of work that he's put together, where you can see all these out of place artifacts, and you can go and hear his lectures for hours and hours, and what he's done with carbon-14.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you really just have to be genuine and honest if you are into the religion of scientism, the worship of science. Then you have to be at least open-minded and open-hearted to say, hey, this is very unscientific. I believe in something that's very it goes against science.
Well, scientists, like I said earlier, they'll tell you it's fluid. They argue with me about it's being fluid. Scientists, fluid. Well, you stop it where I can catch it and believe it. Like Bigfoot. They say it's out there. We'll catch it and bring it. Let me look at it.
Yeah, let me taste it.
Let me tell you, I don't want to taste Bigfoot. Maybe you do. Jonathan, I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me,
You want to do this again sometime?
Absolutely, yeah.
We need to do it again.
Absolutely.
I got some other ones I'll tell you about when we go off the air.
I'm excited.
This stuff like this right here. I mean, I think the viewing audience of the Mike Weatherford Show, some of them knew this guy was around. Some people didn't have no clue he was out there. And I want to turn them on and say, there is alternatives to what you believe, what you hear on the news, and what you.
Right thing.
I said I'm going to run it through to the end, but I want to thank my crew in the back. I want to thank all these guys in the back. They do a great, great job. And I got to run my promos for next week though. Before I do, I'm plumb out of line. We didn't do a cold opening or nothing tonight. Kind of went wham like that. So what do we got next week, guys? Tell me what's coming up next week. Y'all got that plugged in back here to let me talk about it? All right, folks. This is kind of a deal. All right. Same planet, different realities. I've got some conversations with Jermaine Tidwell, Stephanie Talley, and Marcus McLennan. They're coming on the show. I'm going to have a conversation with 3 regular guys off the streets. We're just going to talk and see what this old man and these 3 young guys have in common or what we don't have in common. You don't want to miss it. Coming up next Tuesday night, same time, same place, same planet, different realities. These guys right here is going to have a conversation. That's going to be a cool show, you know it?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We're going to have a conversation with these guys. And don't forget, coming up on Sportscast with Jeremy Buckaloo, the Patriots are ready to explode. Are years of teamwork about to pay off big for the Patriot? Head coach, Henry County Patriot basketball, Wes Miller, is going to be live Sunday, 7:30 p.m. on Sportscast with Jeremy Buckaloo. You don't want to miss that. Good guy, really. Reputation versus reality. Tiffany Boyd returns. She's a special guest coming up Monday, November 17th at 7 p.m. on the Tennessee Informer. You don't want to miss this show. It's going to be a great show. Here we are, Jonathan.
Well, thank you for having me.
Man, I appreciate
really
you, brother.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. And
Is it what you thought it would be?
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I've watched a lot of his stuff, and again, I just encourage people to be open minded.
Roll my screen back down here. We've got something coming up I want to talk about to all the listeners out there. Our old buddy Josh Fry, he is going to be kicking off his campaign, Jonathan.
Heck yeah.
It's coming up this next Tuesday night. Re-elect Josh Fry for sheriff is going on to Henry County Fairgrounds from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Free steaks, hamburgers, hot dogs. Hey, if you want to go out there and support and re-elect, it's Josh Fry for sheriff of Henry County. He's been a great guy. He's been good to all of us. Go out there and show him support coming up Tuesday at the Henry County Fairgrounds from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's re-elect Josh Fry for sheriff. It's going to be right out here at the Henry County Fairgrounds. Go out there and show up, eat you a steak on him, and tell him if you support him and tell him he's done a great job. Well, I think he has done a good job.
Oh, he's one of the best we've ever had.
Oh, yeah, he's a great guy. So you don't want to miss it. Coming up at the Henry County Fairgrounds next Tuesday from 5 to 8. You might leave it by 7 so you can come back and watch me next week. But anyway, that's going on out there at the fairground. And don't forget the Peddler Advantage. I'm out of line. It don't matter, boy. Y'all just put up and I'll talk about it. Just throw it up there to me. There you go. Peddler Advantage coming up. That's great. Look, you can go on the Peddler every week, and you can find all the great shows going, even the Mike Weatherford Show. Everything at myparistv.com is listed right there in the Peddler. Pick you up one. Hey, don't forget this. Place your 20-word classified to run for 4 weeks. That's a month for only $10. That's right. The Peddler Advantage is still out there. It's still growing strong. It's everywhere. Go find yours and also put your ad in there because people's reading this and finding out what's going on. The Peddler Advantage. Hey, don't forget we're simulcast both on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. We everywhere. And you know what? Go to My Parish TV and you can find all the great shows going on at Kill Media and the Brewer Street Mafia. That's still pretty cool. Hey, don't forget Good Neighbors share great connection. I'm going to tell you how to get some free internet. Look, if you've got TEC internet, all you've got to do is get your neighbors, your friends, and your family to sign up, and guess what? You get a month's free. No restriction on how many. You can get a year or 2 years free. All you've got to do is tell your neighbors and your friends to sign up with TEC, put your name on there, and you get a free month. Hey, you can't beat that deal. Free internet, free, fastest internet in Henry County is TEC. Go get you some. There we go. I want to thank my crew in the back, Kevin Keel, Scott Norwood, and Dana Allen for all you do each week. Y'all do the perfect thing. All I do is sit up here and talk and have fun and share it with my good buddy.
Thanks, man.
All right, man. Tune in next week, same time. Like I always say, help me out.
Don't
be late.
Shattering the image of standard nursing homes and committed to enhancing the human spirit, Charter Senior Living of Paris is focused on removing barriers that can prevent your success and a better life. A unique boutique community with many wonderful amenities, we offer various levels of quality care in an apartment and floor plan of your choosing.
The care that Mom has received here has been phenomenal.
Move-in day was such a happy day. The caregivers there were so wonderful.
It was the best choice that we've ever made.
Learn more and request your free resource guide at charterparis.com or give us a call today. When physical assistance becomes a necessity, enjoy the peace of mind you deserve.
Chadcox, PLLC provides representation in the areas of criminal law, family law, personal injury, wills and probate law. Chadcox serves Paris and the surrounding area. He does not believe in a one-size-fits-all approach to representing his clients. He reviews every detail of your case to ensure that you receive an assessment that is specific to the unique circumstances in your case. Chadcox is located at 104 North Brewer Street, Paris, Tennessee. Contact us at 731-642-4446.
The Downtown Event Center is available for parties, meetings, or family get-togethers. The center comes with spacious seating and an area that will help make serving food easier. If you are having a birthday party, this is definitely the place for you. The Downtown Event Center is located at 107 South Brewer Street. Contact Jessica at 731-642-4992 to make your reservation.
Is your tank on empty? For best gas prices in town, fill up at 54 Fuel Mart, 1213A Westwood Street. And don't forget your other tank. Grab hot fried chicken, wings, pizza, and on Tuesdays and Fridays, the best fried fish around. Got a sweet tooth? We've got freeze-dried candies, candy bars, and more. Rainy day? Stay dry and use our drive-up window. Farmers, we've got your dyed diesel plus parking for big rigs. Open 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. If you're feeling lucky, play the lottery or grab a scratch-off while you're here. 54 Fuel Mart at the Westwood Y. More than just fuel.
Are you still undecided about your high-speed internet provider? Hey, it's Mike from the Mike Weatherford Show. Let me help you off the fence. TEC high-speed internet is what we use here at the studio, and let me tell you, it's flawless. From home to business, TEC got you covered. With upload speeds that match download speed, TEC leads the pack. Does your family play online games? How about security cameras and live streamers in your home? TEC, with their upload speed matching their download speed, it's as fast as clicking a button. When it comes to high-speed fiber optic internet, TEC is unmatched with quality and service all across the Mid-South. So do like I did. Go get you some.
Hey everyone, this is Jeremy Buckaloo reminding you to tune in to Sportscast with Jeremy Buckaloo live every Sunday night at 7:30 here from the Brewer Street Mafia Studios.
The Mike Weatherford Show is recorded live in the Brewer Street Mafia Studios in downtown Paris. A Kill Media, Brewer Street Mafia Productions.